Hello, and a warm welcome back to the TNC podcast. It's been a while. It's been a very long while since we jumped on a face-to-face podcast.
This feels so weird.
How are you? I was starting to think you were like a hologram.
Well, it's very... Yeah, mate, come on.
I thought you were going to leave me hanging then.
How are you, mate?
Still smell good.
Cool, you do smell good.
Okay.
Honestly, for the YouTube viewers, this is so weird.
It is. Well, I've forgotten how to communicate with people in person.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been so used to, the watch-alongs and
cheers,
Zooms.
cheers.
But yeah, it's good. We're allowed to be back in the same room as each other.
And it's very weird sharing a Lakens with you rather than getting absolutely smashed on camera.
We've never drunk a Lakens together in person.
It's an absolute honour.
And I can't wait to see you all and drink a Lakens as well. If you want your own Lakens, 20% off. Chris, I was down there, down at the brewery, just this week actually.
Right.
They said, Jack, we're actually a bit worried.
Really?
And I said, oh no, you cancelling the sponsorship or the financial issues?
Right.
They said, no, we can't brew enough beer. They said you are drinking us dry.
I'm not so... Well, look, put it this way, it's their own bloody fault. We warned them. We said, brew like you've never brewed before.
But they are.
Well, but we've warned them.
Yeah.
What more can we do?
Yeah. So look, if you want to throw the good people of Lakens into more disarray, order. Links in the description.
Order.
TNC20. Order. How have you been?
Yeah, really well recently. Actually, obviously it's been a hideous time for everyone, and I'm just so goddamn grateful that our team were amazing.
Yes.
Like I'm so grateful because imagine supporting like a really average team. And
there's one in Suffolk,
and they're doing and they're doing really shit. Imagine, supporting an average team in an average place, and you perform, and your team is shit.
Yeah,
that is a nightmare.
Yeah,
and genuinely, this Norwich City team, and kudos and credit must go to them, and not just Daniel fucking Stewart, but the whole club, because they have helped get us through this period, haven't they?
Absolutely,
they really have.
Absolutely.
By the way, when the hell was the last time we did a face-to-face podcast?
Well, it's funny you ask, because I was wondering that earlier, and I couldn't... Well, I knew that, coronavirus happened, what was it, April, March?
No, I've forgotten.
Cheltenham was in March, it happened just after that, around early April time.
Because they kept Cheltenham open, didn't they, of course?
They did, which kind of kept me in a job, so thank you. I had got the date down.
Go on. When was
it? You've got a guess, I'm not just going to tell you.
I'll
give you a clue, shall I?
Go on.
We had a guest.
Yeah.
Who goes by the name of Steve Sanders, NCFC number.
Yes, okay.
Remember that?
Mate, I can remember it, but when it was, I mean, I think it might be knocking on the 2-year door.
Not but quite that long.
It feels that long.
It does. The 9th of February 2020.
Bloody
18
hell.
months.
Oh my god.
18 months it's been.
And the fact that the TNC viewers have stayed with us for that long as well.
When
they put up with our watch-alongs.
When we said, we'll do a face-to-face podcast this week, I was like, where's my camera? How do you turn it on?
What people don't know is we've already had audio issues, cameras turning off, so
we're rusty.
We're sorry in advance for any technical issues or hosting performances today.
It's been on the pitch, people don't need us to explain how good it's been. It's been a remarkable season. One of the greatest championship sides of all time.
Yeah, no debate.
Absolutely. Shame we didn't quite get to the 100-point mark, but, we got there in spirit. Yeah. It's been a remarkable 12, 15 months for us and TNC, hasn't it? Yeah, so much has changed.
I think mental is just the word that's just come to my head. Just the explosion of togetherness and I just feel like that it means more now than ever before. Like, I knew that we've always done it because we've loved it, but I think I almost feel like a duty to the viewers now, and it's been an absolute honour. The amount of people that have DM'd me personally, obviously struggling, but also saying thanks for that consistency, and I think and I've needed it. I don't know about you, mate, but turning up on camera, twice a week and getting tiddly on Lakens.
Well, it makes you put an effort in for something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's very easy when, people have been on furlough, working from home. It's very easy to slip in a bit...
Routine
a bit of a sluggish kind of routine.
But routine is important, and having that routine of relaxing is nice, isn't it? So, no, it's been crazy, and the fact that the watch along was just a random idea that we had, and then it just grew and grew and grew, and the 24-hour show that started from a comment on one of the earlier watch alongs that we bantered about for ages, and then we actually did it, and that whole experience was just. It feels like a world away now, and as you say, I feel like I'm still recovering from it, but it's been great, and I am just so grateful to every single person that subscribes, that watches everything, that listens to everything, and honestly for people that have stuck with us, because a lot of the viewers that were originally subscribing and following TNC were used to this face-to-face podcast format, and they've had to adapt as well to this watch-along world. So I'm just grateful that everyone's still with us.
That was the glorious thing, was the watch along and all of the stuff that happened over the past season. There was never a real plan in place. No. It was often spontaneous.
We haven't got a clue.
Were very spontaneous, but it grew into something.
Yeah.
And I felt the whole spectrum was forged by the viewers.
Yeah.
We would do things that they wanted, they would do things that we wanted, and it forged into a really lovely family. And the other really strange thing is we've been doing this for years, right?
Too long.
Yeah, far too long.
Yeah.
But there will be a large group of our subscription base now, and the people that follow us on Twitter or wherever, that only know us for the watch along stuff. And that's mental, I find that quite baffling.
That's weird, isn't it? But then there's some people that probably watched us since fan cams back in the day, like the true OGs. Comment below on YouTube if you watched fan cams. And then, as you say, there'll be people that were used to the TNC podcast and have followed us since Ross Martin came on, etc., etc. I don't know, mate. I'm so excited to get back guests face to face again, and we've got some. By the way, we've already got some exciting guests lined up again, which is I'm really excited about. But I must say, I'm quite nervous about as well. I feel like I've forgotten how to do.
Well, you've
face-to-face.
Scrapped the set, haven't you? That we used to use.
Yeah, just put it on the dump. Sold it.
We also haven't been together, and we haven't thanked. Well, I don't know if we did actually. We haven't thanked people. We were voted Norwich City fans of the season. And the other funny thing is now we're not individuals anymore. We come as a pair. Yeah. I mean, if you want to call us out in deck or Dick and Dom, that's up to you. But we are no longer Jack and Chris. We are Jack or Chris. We are Jack and Chris, or Chris and Jack.
I mean, I'm okay with it. Just about. I have to be a bit careful with you sometimes, but I have to have a few combos. Yeah, it's mental, and again, just so grateful for that. It's just a massive honour, and it hasn't sunk in, if I'm honest, mainly because we still haven't been given our prize yet by the club, but yeah, it's not sunk in, and I think we said this, didn't we, seeing all of the numbers of viewers on the screen in front of us, but we've not seen people in person, so it's weird.
It is just the number then, isn't it?
But it's an honour to win the Michelle Dack Fan of the Season award, an absolute honour, and for the people to feel like we're worthy winners is incredible.
And that the initial voting system, we didn't enter and we were we want to be fans of the season. They entered us. And at the start, we both felt a bit uneasy about it because there were some really great people entered that we felt were doing more for the community and for COVID, people than us. But in the end, the people spoke, and it was really touching actually.
We didn't push it for once either.
No.
We didn't plug it.
We were just plugging Lakens.
The people spoke.
It was really lovely as well to. I mean, the 24-hour watch along was remarkable, and
I can't believe we did that.
I was genuinely and I think you've said this on a few bits of press and stuff that you've done. Genuinely one of the most humbling experiences. Yeah. I could not believe the support that we received.
I know.
It was baffling.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we have to make clear to people is that it's so hard to to translate this into you watching or listening to this right now, but I cannot emphasize enough how every single comment, not just the donations, but the comments, particularly in those last 2 hours,
in the early hours,
you got us through that. And one of the byproducts of that watch along, I felt, was it brought the Norwich fans closer together even more, if I do say so myself. I feel like there is more togetherness in the Norwich City camp than any other club. I stand by that. I really do think that it helped bring the Norwich fans together even more for common good, which is what football's all about. Right?
And the nice thing was as well, there will have been a lot of people that don't like us, and that's fine. They weren't doing it for us. They were doing it for Big C.
Yeah, that's great.
And the collective goodness of Norwich City fans. I mean, I was looking at our page this morning because we've been doing some more fundraising and auctions and stuff. It's basically 25 grand we've raised. Nice. And we were going into that like, if we can do £1,000,
I can't believe
we'll tick that box. And then we got to 5, and we were like,
and what about the players as well? Like the players, and obviously some people know that we have got relationships with certain players in the current squad, which we're very grateful for. But Skip, I've never spoken to in my life.
No.
Gibson, I've only connected with him through social media. And, Jordan Hugill, never met him. Also never spoken to him through social media. So it wasn't even just like it was our buds in the squad. Like, it just is incredible. And I'm grateful for those guys as well. I really am.
The money... We got to £5,000. I was like, surely it can't keep going up. And then you were like, right, the target's £10,000. I was like, no, we're not going to get that. £10,000, £15,000, £20,000, £25,000.
I felt like it was some sort of like weird game show. Almost,
it was very odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, and by the way, never again. Like, we're never doing it again.
It was tough.
just in case you're watching, Big C, we love you, but we're not fundraising.
This is the thing. This
again.
Camera's been running for 12 minutes, right? I'm already tired. Talking is a lot more energy sapping than you think. Anyway, enough about us. Thank you so much for the support over the past
massive thank you.
year, and I cannot wait to get back to Carrow.
I cannot wait to just hug smelly blokes again.
Have you had your jab yet?
No. Next week.
Nice.
First jab. Nice. Fingers crossed. Looking forward to it. And then
you can start hugging people.
Get back to normal.
Well, you already hugged me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm really excited to get back to Carrow Road because although the football was brilliant, the Premier League's obviously going to be tougher, and that's when you need
fans.
When you need fans, but like we need more than just the football on the pitch. We need to be interacting with our fellow fans. We need to be going to the pub. We need to be seeing that smelly bloke that sits 7 seats up, whatever. It's them match day rituals that I've really missed.
Speaking of match day rituals, match day experience coming back next season?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
If I remember how to work a camera.
Yes!
It's things like that I've forgotten how to do.
To be fair, we can't share everything now, but so MDEs are going to be back next season.
Yeah.
TNC podcast face-to-face back next season. Some new content strands coming to the channel, so really excited
There's
about
lots going on.
Anyway, sorry, let's stop talking about it. So to the football club that we support,
yes.
Norwich City, let's talk
We're back
about
in the Premier League.
Mate.
The last time we were at Carrow Road, we were in the Premier League. The next times we'll be at Carrow Road, we're in the Premier League. Nothing, it's like we don't have been relegated.
Absolutely, 100%. I never felt relegation.
How are you feeling?
Ahead of the Premier League?
Yes.
Well, at the moment, I'm really excited for it, but I can't deny the fact I am shitting myself a little bit because I know that we're in safe hands. I know they'll sort it, but at this stage, I really do empathise with Norwich fans that are a bit shaky because, and this isn't just like the off the pitch stuff. It's like the fact that it's so early in the transfer window, though.
Yeah, it is.
I just think that maybe Norwich fans have just always been used to is good stuff consistently happening, and now there's been 2 or 3 bad things happen around the club in the last couple of months or so. I think that I think we need some signings to come into the door.
And when there's no games going on, there's nothing.
Exactly.
I was reading in the paper earlier actually, like how slow in general this transfer window has been. Like Buendia to Villa has been the only real big sale. I think like the other notable transfer was Danny Rose to Watford, and if you're sniffing around them kind of transfers, it's been slow.
Yeah.
My worry at the moment is I'm looking at the squad and I'm looking at the Premier League and mate, it's so strong. It's hard to kind of... Usually you go up and you either go up with a team you're like, they're coming straight back down.
We've come a long way, though. I feel like far.
Yeah, but so's the Premier League. Name me...
Mate. Right, okay, right. Devil's advocate here, okay. Defence is so much stronger than it was last time.
No, I'm not talking about Norwich. I'm talking about the other teams.
Mate, you can't worry about the other teams.
Yeah,
that's what we want to be.
They're going to be the teams that are beating us.
No, mate, we'll be beating them.
We'll
be shocking them again.
But you just said you were worried.
No, I'm worried about the lack of activity.
Right.
But
okay.
I've still got this inner belief that we'll do well.
I'm looking at the opposition.
That doesn't make sense. I'm just contradicting myself.
I'm looking at the opposition, and a lot of people are talking about how poor Palace look, right?
Right.
And I'm looking through their squad, and I'm like, they've got Benteke up front, proven
Zaha.
Like all through that squad, there's a good spine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that's the poor team,
yeah, but we've got a good spine. Well, actually,
but have we now?
No, well, no.
At present moment, we haven't.
Well,
we're weaker than we were in the Championship.
Because hang on a minute.
It's not the Premier League calling, is
that's
it?
the Premier League calling. No, it's not. Yeah, no. Sorry, I lost my joke. But by the way, how shit was that joke?
But it still made me laugh.
Anyway, I was just about to say before I was rudely interrupted by the Premier League. They need to stop calling me now. We're actually missing the middle part of our spine now. Now Skip's not in the house.
Well, mate, you're forgetting about the main part that's now not there. We've been promoted into the toughest league in the world. We've lost our main midfielder. We've lost our main creative asset, and it's likely we're going to lose one of our best defenders.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Suddenly, you've got 3 massive gaps that you need to fill, and you've gone up a league.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, I can't argue with that.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, yeah. Look, I know that our club's in good hands, and that's the most important thing.
I'm sure we'll be doing some more updated transfer stuff in the coming weeks. There hasn't actually been that much to talk about in terms of rumours. Not that I really like discussing rumours too much. Hopefully, in the coming weeks, we'll have some good news to bring you. But at the present moment, I am slightly worried.
We will have good news in the next 2 weeks.
Wow, is that something you know?
Yes.
Are we going to war with a gun?
Moving on.
Okay. You mentioned it's been a difficult few weeks off the pitch.
Yeah.
Not that there's been anything happening on the pitch.
Yeah.
It's been a really odd few weeks, isn't it? And it's been an odd few weeks for me as well, like figuring out what people, or how people see their football club, what people want from their football club. We're obviously talking about the BK8 stuff.
Yeah.
New
BK8 gate.
New sponsorship deal, record breaking, and to be transparent with people, like we had a lunch with some members of the football club. We knew that this, not BK8 specific, but we knew that there was going to be a record breaking gambling firm.
Yeah.
And I was excited about the prospect of it. Well, I'm not going to speak for you. I don't know how you thought, but
yeah. Look, I was happy with the fact that it was a record-breaking deal for our football club.
Which felt like we were going up a notch.
Of course, at that point, we had no idea about their interesting marketing material. So, obviously, that's not good. Look, I must say something on this, though, Jack, and obviously it's very topical at the moment, and a lot of people might roll their eyes at this, but I think it's a really important point. I am a bit saddened. Like, everyone always needs someone to blame, don't they? Right. But what has made me sad about this is that there are many people at the club that could have flagged it and could have stopped it, and that's the disappointing thing for me. And I'm specifically talking about Ben Kensel here. Of course, now he's obviously not going to be at the club any longer, which is another discussion altogether. But I was very disappointed to see people just point the finger at Ben entirely as if it was just his fault. That did make me sad, because I know
he was a good guy. Ben was a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's not dead.
Oh.
He's a top man.
Still with us.
He's an absolute top man, and I know full well there's 1,000,001 stories where he's taken the time to call fans out of nowhere. He'd call us as well. There was times where he called me in the Premier League, by the way, when things weren't going well, and was very honest with me about what was going on and where the club was at, and he didn't need to do that. So anyway, my point being is I was disappointed that people really... There was a lot of targeted abuse, and it was abuse towards Ben Kensall, but it's gone through 3 teams, and the club should be accountable to that. But that's my personal opinion, but I'm not. But what I want to make clear is I'm absolutely not sticking up for the club. They got it horrendously wrong, but they know that, and we know how devastated they are by it, and how gutted they are that they made such a sloppy mistake by going with him in the first place and not doing the due diligence, and also it actually happening.
Yeah, I think there will be a lot of lessons learned, not only from Norwich City, but I think football in general with this deal, because these, I've got one on my shirt now, Daffabet, these Asian gambling firms who use kind of white label tactics to break into European territories. You see them on the front of most Premier League football clubs. Fun 88, Newcastle have got them. Loads of clubs have got them.
Yeah.
I think there will be genuine second thoughts surrounding whether they want to associate themselves with these firms. At the end of the day, there's one reason why clubs do. Money. They pay more.
Yeah. But let's flip this into a positive though, JR, right? Let's take a moment to zoom out on this and think, bloody hell, hang on a minute. The fans created so much noise about it not being in line with the club's values.
I'm amazed they sacked it off.
I didn't expect them to sack it off.
No.
But how powerful is that, everyone? That the fans almost governed the club by the values that they speak of. And I think that is actually... And I think you said this actually in a tweet. I think that's a moment in Norwich City's history.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't think I'm underplaying it. I think it just shows how far the club's come, that the fans governed that. And as you say, it'd be easy for the club to do a generic PR thing and kind of hush it down and get on with it. But the fact they sacked it off, I think, and I genuinely mean it, I tweeted this at the time, I've completely forgiven the football club for it, completely, because the way that they responded to it, bloody hell, the Premier League's calling again.
You have to forgive people for mistakes. I thought the tactic would have been, we hear the fans, we're really sorry, you say you're sorry, but you carry on with it and you hope it goes away. We are talking about a commercial deal here worth millions upon millions of pounds, which has been scrapped because the fans communicated in a powerful... It was a slightly aggressive way, but in an aggressive fashion that worked.
Do you think it was aggressive? Huge. Do you think it was aggressive?
Well, there was certainly aggression behind... people were angry, and I think rightly so.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I actually do think, though, that the majority of Norwich fans just said, hang on a minute, this isn't in line with the club's values, so you're contradicting yourself here. Yeah. And, by the way, the anger was justified.
Oh, of course.
Might I add.
So, the reason that Norwich is so special, and the reason we all love Norwich so dearly, is because we hold these values and because we are a community club. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the overarching thing here, and we've seen it with the European Super League backlash, is there is still genuine power in collective fan voice. I was so impressed with the way that the Canaries Trust handled the situation and all of the fan groups. And I was impressed in the way that people held me to account, because initially I didn't quite understand the backlash because I hadn't seen the sheer depth and nature of the marketing material. And people were quickly on my case. And I appreciate that, because if I get something wrong, I don't want people bowing down to everything I say. So I thought that Norwich City fans as a collective acted superbly.
Yeah, I agree entirely.
Should we talk about the fixture list?
Let's. What a start.
Liverpool, Man City, Leicester, Arsenal. I looked at that fixture list, I said it on the video, and you know when the championship fixtures get released?
Yeah.
And you're like, win. Yeah. Reading away, that might be a draw.
Well, not against Reading.
Not Reading. Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And you're like, I think we're going to drop 2 points that month.
I like this. I really like this. Okay, there's a lot of people like, it's a hard start, it's a tough start, this and that. Well, you know what? the players will be buzzing.
Yes.
And that's the important thing. The players, this is what they earned the right to do, to play and try and beat the best teams in the league. Yes, you've got them all in one club, but what that means and what it should mean for fans is that there's no expectation for us to beat Liverpool, Man City, Leicester. Arsenal's so winnable. We'll beat Arsenal, no problem at all. So I'm not worried about Arsenal. I mean, they're a dead club to me. But you know, I think no, I mean that. You know, the soul has been ripped out of Arsenal now. The fact that Aston Villa beat them to Emi Buendia says it all. I'm sorry, and I'll say that on Arsenal fan channels as well. By the way,
please don't.
Yeah, I think it's a tough start, but I think the pressure will be off. And the fact that we'll have fans back at Carrow Road is incredible.
I agree. There is not expectation that first 4 games, but and I said it on Twitter. I think the game that worries me most out of the first 7 is Watford, because it comes in the 5th game after them 4 games, and then there is expectation on that one. Imagine if we don't win our first 4, mate, and then we get beat by Watford.
Mate, you can't be going, mate.
Just imagine it.
No, you can't be.
We got beat by them twice last season.
You cannot be going into the Watford game worried.
Why?
Because they're Watford.
Yeah, but you say that, but they beat us twice last season.
Yes, I know, and I know they're our bogey team now. But if you are,
so you're going into that day confident.
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Yeah, I am, because we would have already beaten 2 of the big boys by then.
Okay.
No. Right, in all seriousness.
But we have to base this. We have to base this off of recent Premier League form.
Why? Why? That's nonsense.
A similar group of players were in the Premier League last time round.
Why do you have to base it on that?
Well, what are we basing it off? 93 or something?
The magic of football. The magic of football is that it's 11 versus 11, and anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah, and we saw what happened when it was 11 versus 11 last time in the Premier League, and we lost 10 in a row.
Look, it's poor from you to go into the Premier League worried about a game against Watford. Back the boys to beat Watford, mate. It's time.
When you saw that fixture list,
yeah,
the overarching emotion was confidence. Because bollocks if it was.
Well, no. Do you know what? I fancy us for a draw against Liverpool on the first day.
Last time you said that, we conceded 4 in 45 minutes.
You laugh. You won't be laughing at the end of that result. I tell you, mate. Draw against Liverpool first day. Man City is.
That's a point, is it?
That's going to be hard work. But to be fair, last time we played them at home. I said we'd lose 7-0, Aguero to score 4, and we won 3-2.
Sam Byron masterclass.
Iconic game in our history. One of the most iconic games in our history. Yeah, I think we'll beat Arsenal. We'll be fine, honestly. It's a tough start, but my point is just flip it to psychology. Players will be up for it. There won't be as much expectation. The first game is a home game. Yeah. I think all of these factors are important.
So we're going to beat Liverpool, we're going to beat Leicester, and we're going to beat Arsenal. What do Norwich need to do in the next month or so to beat Man City as well? If you're that confident, what areas are you looking at that we need to try and strengthen slightly?
Oh, there are quite a few. Quite a few.
The defence, the midfield, and the attack. Maybe a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think we're short of a striker.
Yeah.
I think there's one thing that I'm sure that every single Norwich fan will agree with, and if you don't, comment below that you'll agree with. We have to sign midfielders, and we need to sign them fast. I know that we're not going to sign a replacement for Emi. He's irreplaceable, as Pep Guardiola would say. He is irreplaceable. You can't replace Emi. But you need to sign, I think, 2 midfielders. We need to sign a striker. You should sign a defender. You should sign a backup.
That's the whole squad.
Yeah.
How can you be confident when you want a whole new squad?
Because I'm a Norwich fan and we've just won the league and I've got my yellow and green glasses on, and you know what? I'm okay with that, because if you drag through life like a coal bag of shit with a bad attitude, what's the point in even going?
You say that there is no expectation on the first 4 games, and I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Where there is expectation surrounding this season is to be better than we were last time.
Absolutely, 100%.
And Stuart Webber will know that they're...
Recruitment,
Stuart Webber is seen as somewhat of a god in Norfolk, right? And rightly so. The work he's done has been remarkable. The thing he hasn't been able to do is, 1, stay in the Premier League, and 2, recruit well in the Premier League.
Yeah.
He needs to do that this time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, and he'll know that.
Especially having sold your best asset as well.
Yeah, I think, well, I do, this is the other thing, right, just to talk about this Emmy thing. I think a lot of people are slagging the club off for selling Emmy, but actually, I'm of the faith that actually Emmy, we were lucky to have Emmy in the Championship. Emmy wanted to leave before our Championship season. So the fact that we kept him for that, which meant we won the league, is incredible and a blessing in itself. And some people will be reacting to this comment with, well, that's a tin pot attitude, that's a little Norwich attitude, this and that. But at the end of the day, if you don't like me, you're not going to do this podcast with me. And I'm not saying Emmy didn't like Norwich. He obviously loved his time at Norwich. He valued his time at Norwich. But
if you get offered a slot on Joe Rogan's podcast, are you going to keep on doing this?
I'm sacking you off. It's as simple as that. I say sacking, by the way. Oh God, it's back. Anyway, my point is with the Emmy thing is I think a lot of people have slagged the club off for selling him to get the money and all of this stuff, but I think Emmy wanted to leave.
And there comes a point where you have to sell.
Yeah.
3 years at a football club nowadays is a long while.
It's sad and it's hard for Norwich fans to swallow that bitter pill, but the truth is that... it's amazing that we kept Emmy for as long as we did.
My sadness with I think the price was about right, 40 million quid.
Yeah.
I think that's in the current market about right. Mm-hmm. My sadness with Emmy is the same sadness that I have with Alex Tete and Mario Vrancic. These are players who have defined our recent club history, and we haven't seen them for a year. We haven't been able to say goodbye. The next time we see Emmy in person, he's going to be wearing claret and blue.
Well, we will say goodbye to Emmy when we next see him.
Go on.
When he gets sent off for Villa. He will as well. Mate, I tell you what.
When are we playing Villa? Is it early on?
Gibbo's going to wind him up something rotten. Yeah. The Rock. He is going to wind him up something rotten. Hanley as well. Mate, we'll probably sign a Spanish player just purposely to just say something rude in Spanish to him to wind him up.
If Emmy gets sent off for Villa against Norwich, are you giving him the proper send-off?
I am. Oh, mate, it's as simple as that. If you're playing against Norwich... You know, when he comes out onto the pitch, I hope that he claps the Norwich fans. I will clap him. But as soon as that whistle gets blown, he is the enemy.
Right.
He's playing for the other team. I hope we kick him. I hope we wind him up something rotten. And I hope we beat him. And I hope he then claps us off afterwards and he's gutted that he left. That's what I really hope. The truth of the matter is that Aston Villa are probably one of the most ambitious teams in the Premier League at the moment.
Oh, the attacking line is frightening.
And they're going to be a top class team next season.
Can you remember when I used to really big up Villa when they had Andreas Weimann, Gabby Agbonlahor?
Mate, I always wanted
John
Weimann.
Carew? No, Benteke, wasn't it?
Mate, Benteke at Villa.
It's like them but on steroids now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and if they keep Jack Grealish as well, that's...
Grealish and Buendia in the same
naughty.
side. It's frightening.
That's really naughty.
Are you worried that we're going to lose another big player in quotation marks?
No, we won't lose another big player.
Max Aaron's is staying?
Yeah.
Really? Do you honestly think that? For the audio listeners, Chris is smiling. Let me do an audio description.
I'm
smiling through gritted teeth.
I think...
You said that with conviction.
I'm talking into existence a bit. I think there's a risk with Max. I do.
A risk that what, he leaves?
Yeah.
You just said he's staying?
I'm talking that I want that to happen. But the truth is, I think it will be hard to keep Max. But apart from that, we won't lose anyone else.
Would it take a Bayern or a Barcelona? Is that going to be what... Because he's not going to go to a Southampton or something, is he?
I don't think Max is the type of player that would go to... I say this with respect, by the way. Villa's a top club, great history. I see Max as someone that would probably want to wait for an existing top 6 club or an existing Champions League club.
Because in my head, and I'm not a pro footballer, obviously, if I'm guaranteed first team Premier League football week in, week out, I'd at least give it a year. And then hopefully being on the big stage week in, week out, maybe a Liverpool or a City comes calling.
But I think what you have to remember is Norwich denied Max a move to Barcelona this season just gone.
Yeah.
So it's a huge ask to keep a player of Max's quality in Norwich. However, I'd give it the old reaffirm that. I'd put the contract in front of Max and say, "What do you want?" And
this is the other thing, isn't it? Is it's a financial thing. I saw Mick Dennis tweeting that apparently Villa are paying Buendia 3 times the amount he was on.
I can imagine.
Everton, for example, not in Europe, could come in and say, here's 3 times the amount. And even if he's not necessarily, but
Do you think that is a problem, Jack, with this? And I'd be really... Please let me know in the comments what you think about this. I think we still have I might be wrong here. I might be talking nonsense. I think our wage structure is still quite tight. Like they're all within a certain bracket, and some clubs you have some disgruntled players sometimes because one player is on £200,000 a week and one person's on £50,000 a week, right? So, but I'm of the belief that Norwich is still in this almost a relatively equal pay band. Do you think that until we break through that pay band with star players, we won't survive in the Premier League?
Well, I think the whole recruitment, you are playing Moneyball, and Moneyball is only sustainable to a certain degree until you get an Arab billionaire in who can constantly top up your balance sheet.
Big ask.
You're not going to nail these £2-3 million signings on a consistent enough basis to sustain yourself. I do think though there is something in, say, if you said to me, if Norwich offered Buendia, I'm spitballing here, 65 grand a week, I don't know what he was on, take his wage and triple it to stay at Norwich, would you have done that? I don't think I would have done, because we've seen before when these players have come in on massive wages, and we've spoken to Russ and we've spoken to Wes, it does upset the group. You're right. And I almost think you let them go, you show that you're willing to develop players and release them, take the wage, and then I
think
would you have offered Emmy 60 grand a week to stay?
I would have done,
to keep him.
And I would have said to Delia, you need to make him his dinner every week as well.
Really?
Mate.
Do you think it's worth that with certain players?
He's a world class player.
But what about then if that you've got a Buendia who's firing on all cylinders, but it's upset a few others? Are you willing to sacrifice?
I think with Emmy, with that band of player, with Emmy, anyone in Emmy territory, I think you need to break it. Don't forget the times that we've broken the wage structure before are Naismith, possibly.
By the way, he's just retired. Great career.
Possibly Lafferty, probably
McCartney,
probably the Wolf, probably Mbok.
Tim
definitely Leroy Fer. So these are players that...
There's some classy players in there. Mate, Leroy Fer's goal away at West Brom, never forgotten.
I've told you this story before. Did you know that Leroy Fer almost killed me? Oh, I've never actually revealed this on camera.
Didn't he nearly hit you with a car?
So basically, Leroy Fer...
I reckon there's some old school podcast fans out here that have heard this.
They remember this, yeah. So basically, I was leaving my missus' house, family house, back in the day before she moved in with me. Good old days. And Leroy Fer was at Martin Olsen's house, and he lives in like the Tavenham area, right? And Leroy Fer and Martin Olsen reversed. They reversed. I don't know what. I mean, obviously, it's maybe different rules in Holland or something. Anyway, they reversed out of their drive onto a main road, and I had to slam on the brakes. And I had the old hand out the window, lights, massive apology. Yeah. And of course, I knew it was him because it was an Audi R8 and he had that number plate that said like Fer or whatever it was. So I was like, there you go. Fun fact. So Leroy Fer almost killed me. Or I almost killed Leroy Fer.
If there's one Norwich player you'd want to be involved in a car crash with, who is it?
Bloody hell!
You
what
right?
question that is.
Someone hit.
What, the current squad?
No one's injured.
The current squad.
No, I'll give you context. No one's injured. No one's hurt. You're driving down the Acle Straight. You get a little bit of a bump up from up behind. You're fuming.
Yeah.
You're like,
you get out of the car. You go to smash in the
see
window.
Who
It's a
is
Norwich
it?
player.
Who diffuses the situation best?
I think Pookie's the calmest man in that Norwich squad currently, so I think it'd be Pookie for me.
Do you think he'd be angry?
No, that's the point.
Right.
I think he wouldn't be angry and he'd calm me down.
You'd exchange insurance details.
Oh,
you'd nip up the road and have a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
And you'd
oh no, an alcoholic beverage.
well, not if you're driving.
One?
Half.
Yeah.
So
Don't drink and drive, please.
no,
don't.
please don't.
And we don't, to be clear.
Absolutely not. Going into the Premier League.
Face-to-face podcasts are back, by the way.
Going into the Premier League, out of 10,
Yeah.
how are you feeling?
At the
10
moment-
being we're Europa League, here we come.
At the moment, I would say 5.
Your confidence is dipping. I can see it leaking out of you.
We just need to sign some players, mate, and then it'll go up.
Good. When are we going to do another one of these next?
No idea, because we used to actually book them in, but we need to decide what our new... Let's let the people decide.
Have you enjoyed this?
How often do you want them next season?
I suspect there'll be people sat at home going, God, I wish they were back on.
Yeah,
on
probably.
the old
What a load
channel."
of old shit
This has
was.
been fun though.
Mate, I've loved it. Thank you so much.
There'll be loads more content coming in the coming weeks. We've got
Loads.
lots of exciting things to bring you. And, now we've got the chance to say a massive thank you for the phenomenal support over the past 12 months. We've gone from strength to strength. And I'm so glad that we've been able to serve something that's been good.
Oh, I love that. I love that from
Serve some value.
you. I love that from you.
What
I
would you
really
like
do.
to order? I'd like some value.
And, yeah.
With a side of
I'm pleased.
enjoyment.
I'm pleased that people are pleased we've kept you company.
Yeah,
There
and
you
you know what? It's been nearly an hour, and I haven't gone to the loo yet.
Yeah, what? Yeah.
I'm a changed man. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. Lovely stuff.
Thank you so much for watching.
How do we sign off normally?
I think there was like a very specific manner in which we used to, but I've forgotten. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening on Spotify, etc. You can subscribe on there as well.
Podcast with the guest dropping next week, hopefully, by the way.
Who's
Hopefully,
that?
unless they cancel on me. I can't tell you right now, but you'll like
Played
it.
for Norwich before?
Yes, definitely.
Happy days. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye.